What if the one thing holding back your business growth isn't that you don't have enough expertise, or your offer isn't right, or your website's not pretty enough, but it's simply your reluctance to press record? Did you know that on average, women over 45 will delete 7 videos before they actually publish one? And today I want to break that cycle. I get it. Staring at yourself through the camera lens is hard because we look at every perceived flaw. We look at our wrinkles and what our hair looks like for the day, what we're wearing, how we don't fit into the clothes we used to. All of these things can come up, which can delay our ability to press record. And I get it. And today I want to share with you some ways on how we can get over our camera reluctance. Because as a woman who is turning 52 this month, I have all of those self-doubts and I struggle every day to go and press record. And so the struggle is real for me. And that is why I want to share with you the ways on how I show up as a video coach and a marketing strategist. Being visible is part of my job. So welcome to Content Catalyst. And in this episode, I want to dedicate this to every single woman out there that has felt the doubt of pressing record. In today's episode, I want to get really raw and vulnerable with you because showing up on camera is probably one of the hardest things many of us do, let alone when we get to a certain age as a woman. Now, here's the thing. Today, I am dressed in my hoodie and my hat, and I am channeling my inner bro, and I want to talk to you about what this means as a woman turning up on camera. Because when I started my video journey about 5 years ago. Now, I've been making video in business for, as long as I can remember having a smartphone. But about 5 years ago, when we all went into lockdown, I really doubled down on learning everything I could about video because I saw it as such an integral part of marketing businesses in this day and age, in the digital age, right? So one of the things that I did was go out and, buy equipment. And then from there, I was able to get a mentor to coach me on learning video. And of course, he was a guy and he was in his 30s and full of energy. Shout out to Wes, because honestly, he inspired me so much and didn't make me feel like I couldn't show up on camera. So I guess the thing about that is again, he was a guy that I met with a hoodie and a hat, and that's how he turned up on camera. But as a woman, I would put in an extra hour effort to actually go and press record. So the struggle is real from, women to men turning up on camera. And I really just want to put that out there straight up. When I was learning video, I had a mentor, as I mentioned, but I also watched a lot of YouTube videos, and all of the YouTube videos that I watched were of guys essentially who were also all wearing hoodies and hats. And so this is how I was looking at these guys going, oh man, it's so easy for them to just get in and make that content and just turn up on camera. They don't have to worry about what they look like. I put so much thought into, what I'm going to wear on camera, and I only record on the days that my hair's done, and I, put my makeup on because you know what, at the end of the day, that was how I was brought up. My mother taught me that we want to put our best foot forward, especially when you're front facing in customer service. So working in hospitality, working in sales, marketing, it was all about presentation for me. And it's part of my brand. I have to put in that extra effort. And I know that it makes a difference in your business when you feel confident as well. Like if I, feel like I look good, I'm going to show up more. And so this is part of the mind game that I want to talk to you about today. Now, here's the thing. I was thinking a lot about this because in stories and when I do my lives on Instagram, I will often be out on a walk and I will have, no makeup, no hair done. I've got a hat and a hoodie on essentially. But when it comes to actually recording my video podcast like I am now, any kind of tutorial, any kind of reels that I want to actually, have a longer shelf life, I'm going to make the effort to go and do my hair and makeup and put something on brand on for me. But it also holds me back from creating content. So today I want to talk about what it is to have camera reluctance as a woman over 45. And I want to talk about ways on how we can get around it. Now, if you've done any of my sessions, or you're part of my membership, you know that I talk about camera reluctance. Here are the 3 key things that generally holds people back from making video content. Number 1, the tech. If you are not sure on how to use the tech, that's a roadblock. Knowing what to talk about, that's the other roadblock. Because if we're not confident, like we know it all in our head, but if we can't articulate it to our ideal audience and we don't have clear messaging, then that holds us back from creating content. I know I lie in bed, thinking about all the content that I could make. And sometimes when I go to press record, my mind goes blank, which is why it's important to have a strategy. And then the next thing is camera reluctance. So getting on camera. Now, I hear this from so many women all the time. And I was in a session yesterday. And again, this lady was a photographer and she's used to being behind the lens. And that was one of the things that she found hard, was actually being in front of the lens and showing up for her. So this episode, I guess, is dedicated to all of those ladies that I want to help get confident on camera. So I want to have a look at what are some of the things that holds us back from being camera reluctant. Number 1, being self-conscious. Okay, we worry about our body image, our perceived flaws. Like I said, when we get over 45, all those little lines start to appear. All we focus on when we look in the camera is, oh my God, my neck is starting to go all wrinkly. Look at those jowls, like all of these things start to, really come evident when you get over 45. And when you get to 50, they even amplify again. Sorry, ladies, but they do. And, this is the thing. We are so focused on what we look like when we look back at the camera lens that we stop thinking about who we serve and who we help. So number 1, being self-conscious about worrying about what we look like. The other thing that can hold us back from being up on camera is the fear of judgment is really real. One of my friends who owns a beauty company, she's so confident in what she does and what she knows, but one of the things when I asked her, why don't you show up and do videos? And she's just like, oh, I'm just worried about what people think of me and what they might be, like that I'm not good enough. And I'm like, that really surprised me. The thought and the fear of her being scrutinized and criticized of what people may think is very real. And so I really want to acknowledge that, because I know when I first started my Instagram channel, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't share it with anyone because I just wanted to just get going. And I didn't want to have anyone's feedback or, well-meaning thoughts stop me. And so I just kept going without telling anyone. And I know that when you launch an Instagram channel, for example, or, the algorithm really loves it when you share it with your contact database. And I didn't do that. So, it was a slow growth initially for that reason as well. So lack of control. This is another thing that a lot of us can think of, especially like I was on a TV show many years ago, and I can tell you that editing really changes the version of what actually goes to air, and especially in reality TV. So one of the things that I am always conscious of when I am being interviewed on camera for on a TV show or in a journalist thing is how I'm being represented. And also, if I can just say, is also the angle that I'm being shot at. I've seen sometimes that I've been on camera angles even if I'm at an event and somebody's shot me filming or photos, and I'm like, oh my God, I look so terrible in that. Get it off. And I won't use it. So lack of control is a real issue for many of us as well. And then there's the anxiety to perform. Knowing what to say, remembering what to say, thinking that we have to be a 10 out of 10 performer when we press record, when the reality is for actors, right? They will rehearse 1 hour for every minute that goes to air. Now, in comparison to when you go on press record, you've probably only said your lines twice. And then if you don't get it right the first time, you give up and think that you're not good enough. So I want you to give yourself a little bit of a breather there, because when it comes to professionals even, they will rehearse what they're going to say, say their hook, for example, over and over again. And I was listening to someone talk about this beautiful video edit that they did, and they said that they got this shot 28 times. Now, I don't know about you, but many women that I know that go to record a video aren't patient enough to stand there and record that one part over and over and 28 times. So give yourself a break. There are lots of tools, and we're going to talk about how you can get over that anxiety as well. And it's really interesting. So, over the years that I have been filming people, I have noticed particular camera styles become evident. And I've identified four main camera styles of people. Who show up on camera. And number one is Terrified Teresa. She is the person that absolutely does not want to go on camera. If I'm there filming them, they'll be like, no, 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 you get that person to film. I don't want to be on camera. And then the next person is Give It a Go Gary. Give It a Go Gary or Greta. That's the person who is generally, they don't know what they're doing, but they'll give it a shot. They'll get in there and they'll just have a go. And then there's Wing It Whitney, and Wing It Whitney is the person that prefers to have other people film them. They'll turn up on camera reluctantly, but they would prefer to have the person record them because otherwise they'll find every opportunity to get out of it. That's what I find. And then we have perfectionist Penelope. This is me. This is the person that overthinks it. They've got to get the right script, the right hair and makeup and the right angle. Penelope, I'm just going to say the perfectionism in us is the one thing that does hold us back the most. But what I want to help you do, and this last persona, there is a fifth one, is the one that I'm going to actually ask us to embrace, and that's Rough Enough Russell. So if anyone remembers Russell Coit, who's an Australian comedian satire show, Rough Enough Russell, he just gave it a go and he was there rough as it is. So today I am wearing my hoodie and my hat to channel Rough Enough Russell, and I want to help inspire you to actually turn up on camera. And I want to talk about that, the beauty standards of what Gen X women I guess put the pressure on ourselves to turn up like. And like I said, it can actually just come from our mums. You know, we grew up in a generation that, you know, you went out, you made an effort to, you know, do your hair and makeup, and you took the time to put on something nice if you were going to be on camera. So if we look at you know, how can we get around this one? I guess it's really about, like, for many of us that work from home, we probably don't get all dressed up every day with hair and makeup because we're working from home, and we, you know, don't have to, essentially. I mean, I have different days where if I'm going to be on Zoom all day, yes, I'm going to get up, wash my hair and style my hair and wear something on brand that's professional because it's just part of my brand identity. But then there are other days that I'm doing immersive work, and my brain actually works better if I'm in very casual clothes because it keeps me grounded and focused on the task ahead because I'm not in camera ready mode. It's really weird how my brain works like that. Let me know if you relate to what I'm saying with this. So when I am in that mode, I often am the most creative of ideas, thinking, oh, I actually would love to record something today, but I'm not dressed for the occasion. So this is where understanding how we compare ourselves to others can also come into play, that we think that we have to show up, you know, camera ready all the time. And that's why I, you know, make an effort to do Instagram stories and lives, you know, just being raw and ready, Deb. The other thing is the power of authenticity is real. Now, when we show up, and I know I've had comments about this, that people have actually messaged me to say, oh, you know, I saw you turn up on camera without makeup and with, you know, in your sweats for the, you know, your active wear or whatever, and you inspired me to turn up. And I'm grateful for that feedback, because when we actually turn up as we are, without the pressure of thinking we can't go on camera unless our hair and makeup is done, unless we're all dressed up for the occasion, we miss out on that opportunity of being able to connect with our audience on a raw and ready level. And when I heard that, when somebody said you became more relatable to me when I see you wearing your hat doing a live and a story. And I really appreciate that because I feel like when we embrace like our identity and we don't have that social pressure to perform and be all glammed up, then it enables us to really have those deeper conversations with people. Now, the other thing as well is I feel like there's a fine line between not dressing up to be on camera and also being your best version of yourself to help with your confidence. Okay. So and this is why for this month, I was like, you know what? I think for the month, I'm actually going to just do my hoodie and hat. I'm going to channel my inner bro and not use it as a deterrent for me to press record, because often I will like get up early in the morning and I'm like, oh, but my hair and makeup's not done, so I can't record my podcast today. And I put it off for another day and I put it off for another day. And then because I might be doing client work, my brain is fried by the end of it. And I'm like, oh, I just don't have the energy because I haven't done my hair and makeup. So I am going to make an effort this month on my reels that if I am in my, hat and hoodie, I'm going to just make my content this month and really channel my inner bro. However, I also want to say, as far as getting on camera, if you need to be doing your hair and makeup to get on camera, then please do it, because wearing a something that makes you feel good, and when you look good, you will show up more confidently, 1000%. But I also want to encourage you to not let it stop you from making content day to day either. So we've got to find that balance of going, how do we, choose when we do turn up on camera? So for example, and I know a lot of women will do this, they'll have particular filming days and they'll batch up content, and that's great. I batch up a lot for my clients and it's just part of what I do. But for myself, I'm a terrible batcher. My brain doesn't work like that. So hence the reason why I have to go in those ebb and flows of when my hair and makeup is done. And that's why Mondays, I know I have my masterclasses with Content Catalyst, my membership, and I'm often doing Zooms and one-to-one sessions then. So Monday, Tuesdays are my days that I will, generally do my filming for my podcast and things. So knowing when you do have those days, make the most of it when you do want to batch up and get B-roll content, for example, to build up your content library, or do your, long form content on particular days. So definitely think about having those days that you are going to be in your fine form, do your hair and makeup, wear something great, because it does help bring your confidence up. However, I also don't want it to hold you back from being your true self. Here's the other thing. And filters, I had this instant the other day where I posted up a reel about using a subtle filter on Instagram. And I know that filters can be a bit of a divisive conversation with people, because some people are really against it and I'm all for it. And I'm going to say I'm all for it because, again, as a woman, when you get over 45, we start to see all of our flaws. And when we are not camera ready, as in we haven't done our hair and makeup, we're not in our, brand clothing, we don't make content. And we often have those important messages to share. So having a filter can be the one difference between you pressing record and not. And that is why I'm a big fan of using a filter to help you get on camera. I use a subtle filter because I look at my complexion some days and I'm like, if I actually went in and put foundation on and did all my makeup, yes, I would have a great complexion. But when I'm raw and ready without anything, I'm like, I can just press a button and let it do it for me. It's not changing my face. It's just improving the appearance of lighting. And can I just say, lighting impacts your quality of videos so much. And for ladies that are over 45, if you are worried about how you look, your face on camera, invest in some softbox lighting. I know a lot of us, and I even have them in my gear guide, those panel lights. Those panel lights are fantastic because they're lightweight, they're easy to maneuver around. But if you don't have a diffuser on them, they can be so harsh. Like I've got like softbox lights here recording, because I know, one, I wear glasses, so it minimizes that reflection, but it makes a huge difference to the quality of your content. And I remember Liz Hurley was doing a podcast one day. I was listening to it, and she was like, here's the thing, like, when she was doing movies, it's all about the lighting and those beautiful, gentle, lenses that they use to film with. We look good, right? And she was saying that with your phones these days, the quality of the cameras are so good, but it picks up every single flaw. And she's like, so lighting is everything. And it's really true. So this is why having those ring lights are not great, especially if they're pointing straight at your face, because it literally, you look like a ghost. There's no shadow, there's no framing of your face. So ladies, I'm going to say, invest in some softbox lighting. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Like, good softbox lights cost hundreds of dollars, but you can literally go and get something for $50. You don't need to spend a lot of money, but it is 100% worth the investment to get softbox lights. If you have those panel lights, like I mentioned, the LED panel lights, you can get diffusers that go over them, and they are so worth it, because they will make a huge difference to how you look on camera. Overhead lights are the worst thing, because it makes us look like we have bags under our eyes. So get rid of the overhead lights when you're recording. Outside, go outside and film in the natural daylight. Now, there's a thing called golden hour. Cinematographers love to use it. It's literally just after sunrise and just before sunset. And if you go out, and I love just before sunset, because it's my favorite time in the afternoon to go out and get content, because you have this lovely natural glow on your skin and it makes you look absolutely amazing. That is like nature's filter right there. So go out, and all you need to do is hold up your phone, spin around in a circle with your camera until you see that sweet spot of the light just looks perfect. Practice doing that, because I'm telling you now, golden hour is perfect for filming in if you don't have great lighting inside your room. Now, if you do have your studio set up where you're recording your podcast, your video podcast, like I am, I've got a camera here. I use a Sony ZV-10 with a 16mm lens on it. And what it means is this has got the lens that I use has actually got like a blurry background in it. So it just gives a nice little style to my background. But with the Sony ZV-10, it actually has a soft focus on it as well. Now, again, I'm not here trying to change my face. All I'm trying to do is make it more bearable for me to look at when I have to edit myself. And I'm just like, so here's the thing. It's like, work with, if you need to use a filter, there's in Instagram, there's a little if you go to the search button in stories and lives, type in subtle, and you will see it's a little purple icon. And I'll put a reel. In the show notes, I'll put a link to the reel that I made about it. And it's a little purple icon, and it's the subtle filter. It doesn't make your face all blurry and soft, blur it out. It just looks like it improves the lighting, which improves your complexion. And so that is my number one tip for if you're filming reels on your phone. So if you're filming reels, go into stories, press record, download it, and then edit it in CapCut from there. So good lighting. If you need to use a filter, use a filter. Like I said, I use the Sony ZV-10, which has got a lovely soft focus on the camera. Otherwise, you can use a subtle filter on your phone. And the other thing as well is, even when I'm recording now, like I'm recording in StreamYard, but I'm not looking at myself in the camera lens right now on StreamYard. I'm literally looking at my screen where my notes are instead. This is why having your avatar is so powerful, because and I'm going to put on my marketing strategist hat for a second, when you know like your target audience, that is fantastic, and that is so important when we create content. But being able to dial in your avatar is so powerful. When you know that avatar, you give them a name, you give them a persona, you give them identity, and even create an image of them. And having that person in mind when I stare at the camera lens is so important, because then it's not about what I look like, it's about helping that person on the other end. So what you can do is just get a little photo of them and stick them on your camera lens, not covering the camera lens, but beside the camera lens. So when you're looking at the camera, you're thinking about that one person who you help as opposed to what we look like on camera. When you start to create content and you can think of that one person who you help, it really removes the inner criticism of what do I look like, because it's not about me, it's about who I help. And if I can help one person press record today, that means that their work is actually helping other people. So it's that beautiful ripple effect. And that is why I created Content Catalyst, my membership, because I could see the same problem over and over again of people having that reluctance to turn up on camera. And I wanted to help them get over and push through that. And like I said, it was technical, using the tech, knowing what to say, and then getting over that camera reluctance. They're those three things. So if you can embrace yourself as Rough Enough Russell and think about planning and preparation, because when you plan and prepare yourself, you will feel more confident because you're confident about what you're talking about. And then focus on, like I said, your message of how you help people. And then always give yourself some grace that it's not going to be perfect. Can I just say, if I go to my phone, I have filmed over like 30, 40, 50,000 videos, easy. I have to delete my phone all the time. So I've got thousands and thousands of videos on my phone. So I've got lots of practice. I'm not saying that all those videos are of me, but when you're used to pressing record all the time, filming other things, that's one thing. But when you're actually pressing record on yourself, like I am the perfectionist, okay? So therefore I will probably take, 10 to 15 takes or something before I'm ready to, press upload. But I have that understanding now that there comes a point where then I have to step away from it. So it's good to practice, it's good to plan, but I want to say you've got to get going in order to get good. So you're going to have to embrace, and I say this to people when they're starting out pressing record, 50 bad videos. Allow yourself to make 50 bad videos before you actually get to the point where you're going, oh, that's a fairly decent one. Now, when you're starting on YouTube, for example, top creators will say, don't talk to me until you've got 100 YouTube videos under your belt. Allow yourself to make imperfect content to start with. You got to get going in order to get good. And I always have this thing, and this is when it comes to editing as well, is when we start to edit, is that we can overthink it. And when we overthink it, that's when we start to go, listen, done is better than perfect. Just post the reel. Just post it. Don't overthink it. Stop analyzing it. Stop thinking about, oh, should I, do this or that? No, just post the reel. Because the more you post the reel, the more you post the videos, the better at it you're going to get. And then, of course, look, 100% get technical help. If you don't, if this is holding you back because you go, I don't know how to do the things, get help. And that's essentially why I created my membership, Content Catalyst, was to help people with that very thing. And having a community of people as well really does help you push you forward. I know I'm part of communities that help me create content, because otherwise I overthink things and then I get busy doing things. So when you have accountability, it makes a huge difference to be able to keep you focused on what you are doing, and that is helping other people. So creating content to help your business is the number one thing that I can recommend, because that is the reason why I created Content Catalyst. Because as a marketing strategist, I knew that if you turn up and press record, you can help people and you can grow your business. You can sustain your business. That's number one, because a lot of people right now just want business in. So we want to sustain our business and then we want to grow our business. And how we do that is by showing up and sharing how we help people. And to do that, we've got to get over our camera reluctance to press record. And to do that, we need to just get going. So ladies, I'm going to ask you today, go and film a video. Tag me in it on Instagram at Deb Szabo. I'll put the details in the show notes, because I hope this inspires you to take action today and be imperfect and just show up as you are. If you are starting to learn how to be on camera, Instagram stories is a fantastic place to just do a little daily update. You don't have to script it. It only lasts for 24 hours. No one's going to judge you for it. And if you can just document your day, just let everyone know what you're doing today. It's a great place to just get used to seeing you on camera. And the other thing, I know this is the one thing I hear a lot from women as well. I hate the way I look and I hate the way I sound. When you record yourself, press record and don't look at it again. Just move on to your next thing so it doesn't hold you back. But if you can make an effort to go live, that is great because you don't have to edit. That's one roadblock already removed. But if you can do daily stories, that is a great place to practice. And of course, if you want to, level up your content and work around, what to say, all the tech things and that camera reluctance, then come into the beautiful community of Content Catalyst, because this month we are turning 1 and I'm just so excited to be able to help you create more content and get the results in your business that you deserve. So that's all from me. In the meantime, I'm going to channel my inner bro and wear my hat and hoodie and make content this month. And my mission is to make a reel every day, basically. That's my challenge. All right, but that's all from me. Let me know in the comments what holds you back from turning up on camera. And until the next episode, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm Deb Szabo. Bye.